I have to ask you this question right off the bat. 2 games away from America,
Yeah,
can Bafana Bafana get the job done? The elusive qualification that isn't automatic from hosting. What are
yeah.
you telling me?
But honestly, if I'm gonna be watching this video as a viewer, I'd be certain that yeah,
Mhm.
we can do it. But us, we're gonna have to bring the conversation. We're gonna have to bring a conversation, and it might look like
Yeah.
we can do it, but ish, the players that are in this squad, bro, which we'll touch on a bit later,
Mhm.
the players that are in this squad are players that we are used to, and they play for two very particular teams, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. These teams have
Yeah.
also played each other twice this season. So
This
far, they
season.
played each
Yeah.
other twice, and I must say the showing from those players haven't hasn't been too exciting, bro. It hasn't been like those performances that you expect from national team players, and Orlando Pirates and Sundowns make up a majority of this team. And I think
Mhm.
that's where my concern is. Lesotho, not so much, but Nigeria coming up at home, which will also feel like a home game for them for some weird reason. And the fact that
I,
the
I,
3 point allegations that we took from Lesotho to playing Tebo Mokoena while he was supposed to be suspended, that's also still pending. We might get docked 3 points. So these 6 points are up for grabs in these two games are very vital. Can we do it? I think we'll have to wait and see. Then the Nigeria game will confirm everything for me. I don't know about you, bro.
it's funny how if we look back about 12 months ago, even 18 months ago,
Yeah,
the fact that we had such a high contingent of Sundowns players and Orlando Pirates was a benefit because one, we have homegrown talent representing us,
yeah,
and two, we've got the best in the continent or one of the best in the continent, especially Sundowns, who
yeah,
were on a tear in the league. So I think now, kind of looking at it now, you're just looking at it and you're saying, okay, maybe this isn't such a because now, as you said, the two biggest contingents in this squad that Hugo Broos has called up are mainly, as usual, Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Mainly
yeah,
Orlando Pirates, if I'm not mistaken. And the two teams in the country right now, domestically, that are doing well are Kaizer Chiefs
yeah,
and Sekhukhune United. And Sekhukhune got completely snubbed and only one representative, which I don't see as being a very important part of the team right now,
yeah,
if we're being in terms of for the squad. And that I wouldn't say it worries me because obviously at the end of the day, these are players who all know each other. So that will always be a benefit. Having
yeah,
players who are used to each other, they know their tendencies, and just that team spirit, that cohesiveness. You can tell that the team has a very oneness amongst themselves. I think that still gives me a lot more confidence, regardless of the fact that the club form has been a bit faulty.
yeah.
I think Pirates hit form at the right time just before the international break.
Mm-hmm.
Sundowns, they're still working through their issues, but I'm still confident.
Yeah,
Obviously, I do believe that there's a lot of excitement. I think this is the most excitement that most South Africans have had for Bafana Bafana in a very long time,
yeah,
rightfully so.
yeah,
And I'm just hoping that it's not for nothing. I think the excitement should be there in the sense of people are going to show up to watch the game, but in the sense of they still need to get the job done.
yeah,
We're not, I think sometimes as South Africans, we always just say, ha, we're there, we're there, we're there.
yeah,
And then you kind of still need to go and do the job. And funny that you say the Lesotho game, we're looking at the Nigeria game, but I'm also saying the Lesotho game,
yeah,
you need to get the 3 points there. I think the case that you said still pending, we're not in the out of the woods already. We're not out of the woods yet. It's still in our hands, rather, let me
yeah.
say. And yeah, speaking of the Lesotho game, I think I don't know if we can jump pretty much
No, I,
into
th- I
like
I
that
just
game.
wanted to ask you like what were
Uh,
your thoughts? Just in the recap on the squad. Do you think there's a Kaizer Chief, there are other Kaizer Chiefs and Skukune players who would warrant a spot currently in this squad? And also the reintroduction of Sipombule replacing the injured Patrick Masongani.
can I be honest with you? I
Yeah,
think it's kind of funny how I'm gonna touch on Umbule, right? I think
yeah,
he was always seen as, he's Master Chef. He's always
yeah,
been touted as this huge talent with who can do so many amazing things on the pitch, but obviously it's his reputation off the field that has kind of shunned him from being able to represent us at the highest level. And
yeah,
it coming right now as he's made the move to Pirates, I think that helped him well. I think the exposure playing for a club as big as Pirates, obviously Hugo Broos can pay attention to him a lot more prevalently. Not saying that he wasn't before, but
yeah,
I think now, and also the fact that it's another, number 10, quote unquote, who he's replacing in Tito, who's a massive loss. I think again, let's not get it twisted. Tito is still an important player and a talented player. And I think with the likes of Tembazwane not going to be available for the foreseeable future, it seems, or just in terms of for the next for these couple of next games.
yeah,
I think Mbule is probably, I don't know. I think he's going to be the ace in the hole, if that makes
mm,
sense. I think
yeah,
just because of what he brings, I think you always use the term X factor. You're bringing this unknown element. And I do
yeah,
feel like Hugo Bross, even calling him up is a massive, massive call because he hasn't even been starting for Pirates,
yeah,
if we keep that in mind. So for him to even call him up just to be a part of the squad, just to kind of just get that, and I think that would be it would bode very well.
yeah,
In terms of the players, I would have, um, I think obviously for me, Kaizer Chiefs, I always be biased. I do feel like Mfuno Vilagazi did well for himself to at least get a call up.
yeah,
I think he would have. I think Basako Mako, he unfortunately he came back from injury too late to kind
yeah,
of be in consideration. I think he would have probably been, but obviously I know what Aubrey Mudiba, he's the undisputed left back for South Africa, so maybe he wouldn't have jumped into the squad, but the squad depth is always necessary. But
yeah.
I think even for Sukune, I'm not 100% familiar with all of their players, but I think just overall, this just kind of shows us in a specific way the fact that we are broadening, like the talent pool is broadening a lot
Yeah,
more now than it ever has. And I
facts.
think that's going to be something that Hugo Broos will appreciate because I think for him to even say Sekhukhune are the best team in the country right now, that shows that, okay, next camp, we're going to see a lot more Sekhukhune players. Next
Yeah,
camp, we might even see a lot more Stellies players and any other teams, maybe Durban City, depending on, obviously you want to keep the same squad. You don't want to
yeah,
miss chop and change because I think even Coach Eric Tinkler said that the reason he understood why Hugo Broos didn't call up any of his players because he
yeah.
doesn't want to. He understands chemistry, team chemistry is important, but again, form, confidence, momentum is also important. So
Facts.
I do think so, but I do appreciate Hugo Broos taking that step or that leap, if that makes sense. How about you? Just
I
as
think
a
I share the same sentiment. Eric Tintler did say, like, if the squad is performing well, like, what's the reason for you to change it? And
yeah.
I think he's having no fuss about it, but I feel like Keleto Mahalwa could have been someone who like could have got a call up top three player last season, and also checking the uncapped players who were like called up, Duduzi Shabalala, Kamugelo Sibilibili, Zuko Mdunyelwa, and Imo Okon, who's at Hanover right now. I'm looking at them, I'm like, Keleto
Mhm.
Mahalwa can have like a spot here. Probably Sibilibili because he was playing Kosafa, and he also, I think he played a couple of games at Chan before coming back. That's probably the reason why he got the nod. But other than that, I'm not having any complaints. And going into the Lesotho game, I'm expecting a rotated squad. I'm not expecting us to go all gung ho for this game. Or if we do, the players will probably play like maybe 50, 60 minutes. I don't know about you. Like let's jump into the Lesotho game now.
Okay, no, I think again the biggest thing that we have to note, even previewing both these games, they're both going to be played on South African soil,
Yeah,
as in it's going to be a massive South African turnout of fans supporting the boys because Lesotho don't have a national stadium, so they use ours because we're like neighbors.
yeah,
They literally renting our country. Let's not get there. That's a whole other political conversation. Um, so I think that's also something to consider. That's an opportunity that we need to take advantage of, you know. And I think if I'm being honest, the big showdown is Nigeria. But
Yeah,
I think sometimes when you look too far ahead, you kind of miss sight of what you have in front of you.
yeah,
So would I be surprised if Hugo Broos plays a full strength squad that maybe hopefully you get the job done? Maybe not even in the first half, because I know that sometimes we tend to start games a bit slow at certain points. We kind of grow into games. So
yep,
I'm thinking you play a full strength squad, make sure that you definitely get the 3 points. So by the time you get to the Nigeria game, a game that will probably be a lot more emotional, if I'm being honest. But
yeah.
obviously, we'll touch on that. I think just touching on the Lesotho game, I do feel like this should be a game that we win. I think
You have to.
I all respect to Lesotho, but again, I think in terms of the quality and just like the experience, again, of just like we've played high quality teams up till this point. This group of players, they know high pressure moments. I think
Yep,
they making it to a semi-final, yeah, AFCON, that's not anything to like cough at. That's a big deal. And I think before that, we had gone on like a almost 26 game unbeaten run. So
yep,
they know they're at a point where they're very what this like this squad of players have not lost. It was the Chan team that sort of went away that record, which I think doesn't make any
yeah.
sense. But um, I think again, the if I'm being honest, you play all the heavy hitters, you play everyone that needs to start, and you just get the 3 points so that by the time we get to the Nigeria game, we know that we are one 90-minute game away from securing our ticket 1000% without any calculators,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very new situation for us as South Africans because we're used to just taking out like we're not even used to like qualification. By this point, we're already just saying we're just playing for fun. So
Yeah.
this is again, I think for a lot of us, this is very new, and which is why it's so exciting. But I think again for the Lesotho game, I think he plays a full. I suggest, or I would be hoping he plays a full strength squad.
Him playing a full squad wouldn't be such a bad idea. But I'm just thinking Pirates and Sundown again, bro. These two teams, their players have already played MTN 8 and 5 league matches.
Mm,
So maybe fatigue will set in there. So I would
okay.
like to see some game management from the team, from the how Hugo Broos uses the squad of or will be like very important going into the Nigeria game because there we need the guys like fully fit because I think that would be the decider, honestly. That would be the game that decides whether like we can, rest our laurels in the final two games, prepare already, like prepare the next generation for the next AFCON, in terms of integrating more youth team players. We
More
could
youth,
use
yeah,
we
yeah,
could use those last few games for that. But for this Lesotho game, even though he will play a full squad, please, bro, just game management. Make sure that the players don't like injure themselves or like overwork themselves in this game, but make sure that we get
yeah.
the dub. Moving on to the big clash, bro. Like I'd say this is our like I know Egypt is there, but I'd say that in terms of international rivalries, this is our game, but this is the game that makes
Yeah,
our blood boil as Bafana fans.
and I think the cultural war, the ideological war, I think
Yeah,
especially,
Giants of Africa
you
war,
know,
basically.
I think this is one of those games where it's like it doesn't matter when it happens.
Yeah,
Every time that it happens, it feels like a big deal. It feels very not personal, but I think again it's shrouded in a bit of emotion. I
yeah,
think they've had our number. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep
yeah,
it honest. Most of the time when we play them, they beat us. In the last time we played them in a big game, they beat us in the AFCON semifinal. When it counted the most, they
yeah,
beat us. And would I say I'm nervous? No, but I think I don't want. Sometimes again, we know that sometimes we tend to play the occasion rather than the game.
yeah,
And I think more than anything, I just hope that this Nigeria team are not they're not the Super Eagles of 5 years ago.
yeah.
They haven't qualified for the past two World Cups, if I'm not mistaken, or they've qualified for they didn't qualify for Qatar.
Qatar, yeah,
So yeah, so they're also in a bit of an awkward time, they still have quality players,
Yeah.
players who are playing in the Premier League, in European, and I think that I'm not saying that as a reason. Like again, we have some of the best players even here playing in our country,
Yeah.
but I think again, as you said, just because of the magnitude of the game, I don't know. How are you feeling about it? For you, just as a South African, longing and just wanting this ticket to be booked. How are you feeling?
I'm
That
fairly
this is the game
confident.
that kind of. Oh, really? Okay. All
Honestly,
right.
I'm fairly confident. I think Hugo Broos, in terms of like the mental side of the game, he's managed to tune that into these players, and I don't think they'll
Yeah.
let the occasion get to them. They'll know, with the okay, the Lesotho game is done now. Regardless of the result, the Lesotho game is done. Nigeria in front of us. We're going for 3 points. We want to secure a place in the World Cup. We're in the driving seat. Like us relinquishing the top spot or like having to play playoffs going to America at this point would just
Yeah.
be a big derail into like our plans, bro. Honestly, I feel
Facts.
like they have it in them to do it. I'm looking at Tebza, I'm looking at Ronwen, I'm looking at Mufukeng, because he always turns up in the big games. He always turns up in the big
He
games for
does.
the
He
club.
does. He does. Yeah.
But this time it's on the international stage and it's time for him to level up now. I'm looking at Ikram Reyners if he starts. I'm looking at Lal Foster. You mentioned Nigeria have players playing in the Prem. We also have one of our own in the Prem, Lal
Mm.
Foster. Actually just scored right now recently at Old Trafford. So I feel like we have the tools. Yes, they have Osimhen. Yes, they have Ademola Lookman. And I think also Kevin Bassey, he's been solid for Nigeria.
Mm.
But honestly, I feel like we can do it. The worst
Yeah.
case scenario is us losing, of course, but even a draw in this game, I don't see it, bro. Like one has to win in this one, and I see Bafana prevailing. How about you?
I mean, I think one thing I feel it's probably going to be a bit cagey,
Yeah.
but again, this is why I say if the South African crowd can bring it, this is
Mm,
me. Like I'm to anyone South African who's within that vicinity who's going to go to the game. I'm pleading and I'm just saying you got to bring the energy. I think this is the one time where because South Africa most of the time we don't fill up stadiums unless it's for the derby.
yeah,
But obviously, in the past couple of Bafana games, we've shown up. We've shown up. We've turned out, and I think that's kind of helped. I think we've never really, unfortunately, the South African team has never, because 2 years ago they were playing in Mozambique that was practically empty
yeah,
because no one really believed. We have belief. Hugo Broos and just this team of players, I just need to say, have invoked belief in the South African people. And we've seen with the Springboks, when you give us belief, when you give up something to believe, we will back you 1000%. We will
yeah,
dress in every single paint of yellow. We will color our faces the South African flag if we need to. And I think for me, if we can just do that, that will probably be the biggest. I think us playing them now at home, if we were going to Lagos, I was gonna be a lot more weary about it. I was still
yeah,
gonna be confident, but I think now the fact that we're playing here will probably be the biggest ace. I think in terms of going into the game, I'm confident that we'll get the result. And in terms of the team personnel rise, both teams have quality players, so I wouldn't say it's anything to sort of go by, but yeah, no, I think for me, other than that, no, I'm confident. I think you've also kind of just like psyched me out now.
yeah.
I'm
And
also fairly confident that now we're gonna.
I think also Nigeria having to travel from Lagos because they play Rwanda at home on Saturday, and they have to travel this side. They have to come down south to play us in Free State. I think the atmosphere will play a huge role, as you
Yeah,
mentioned, but Nigeria will be
mm,
looking at that. Like, if we can get
massively.
them early, just so that we can tone down the atmosphere, so that the 12 men can just, not play a huge role in this game, that would work wonders
Yeah,
for them. And also, that would be a test of our character, too. I feel like at times during this qualification phase, yes, we were tested. I remember Umbat had to come up with some clutch goals in the early stages of this
of the
qualification.
qualifier. Yeah,
And also in Sudan, we had like a close score win, 3-2. Now we were playing like a top
mm,
ranked team in Africa. So if we
facts.
do get into a situation where we go behind, we would need to like, show up, bro, like as a team that's currently the most informed team, international team in Africa.
In
So I
Africa.
don't know. I wanted us to
And
also touch on Nigeria, their game plan going into this game. They obviously look to use Lookman and Osimhen, but I think we have TLB and Ungezana right now to like show up the defense. And in midfield, I'm looking at Iwobi as probably their most creative player at the point. At this point, he had a good game against Fulham. That's the game that we were watching against Man United. He had a really good game. He's causing
yeah,
trouble there. I also want us to look at their personnel. Who are the players who would like cause havoc for Bafana Bafana?
I mean, at the end of the day, like as you mentioned, I think players like Alex Iwobi, players like what's this? Players like Victor Osimhen, players like Ademola Lookman, players even like Samuel Chukwueze. They,
Yeah,
as I said, they have players who are very used to playing in Champions League football, so their quality that we
yeah,
can't deny. Yes, the team hasn't been performing well, but the team, like the players themselves, they can each make moments of magic. And I'm looking at that and I'm just saying that, okay, obviously you have Obi Mudiba, someone, who you as a Sundowns fan have not been very keenly enthusiastic about, but
yeah.
at the end of the day, when he puts on a Bafana shirt, he has not let us down. I think obviously Kulusumi Dao is he not available? I don't think he's available for the camp
Yeah, he
this time
wasn't
around.
called up. He wasn't called up.
Because obviously, yeah, there was a very, weird situation with his club at the moment, so that's going to be a big loss. But
Yeah,
I still do feel like we have an apt replacement. I think Ungezana, he's, playing his best football, going to be playing European football as well. And I wanted to ask, do you see Umbogazi making his way into that starting 11? Do you think, because Hugo Broos has been waxing lyrical about
yeah.
how great he's been, and you have to ask yourself, a 19-year-old, yes, but a tall, domineering 19-year-old center back, who do you think he would be able to deal with a muscular, like very physically demanding striker like Victor Osimhen, who will look to stretch the defense, who will look
Yeah.
to play the long, they're going to play the long ball. They're going to use their wingers to stretch us out and just, get us with pace and just kind of hit us very direct. And obviously, we sort of play a similar style, but obviously, maybe ours is a lot more possession based at certain aspects. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to ask you, do you think Umbogazi, the captain, do you not yet, too soon?
Honestly, I'm looking at
Uh,
our players. Ime Ocon, he's playing in Germany, I think in Bundesliga too.
mhm.
We don't know much about him.
Yeah.
Kulumani Ndamane from TS Galaxy, also a young talent that's really good at centre back. Gosnati Swiss is not there. Mtobi Mvala is not there. Grand Kikana, thank God he's not there. I hope this gives him a wake up call. They're not there. So who's our next best centre back? In my opinion, my humble opinion, the most informed centre back we have in the country right now, Mbegezeli Mboaz. I know this would be sort of like a baptism of fire, but I mean,
Massively,
I
massively. But I
mean,
mean,
you
there's no
have
time
to,
like the
bro.
present.
You have to.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have to put him
yeah.
in this point, and it'll be interesting to see because Ngezana is also an aggressor. Umbogazi is also an
Yes,
aggressor. Will we see sort of
yeah.
like Mbogazi showcasing more of his ball playing ability more in these two games and allowing Ngezana to continue being the aggressor of the team? That would be interesting. But my pick was Mbegezile Mbogazi with Ngezana at the center back position, bro.
On paper, it's our strongest. I think obviously Ngezana is not the same Ngezana from Pirates, so I think he has experience now.
Yeah,
I feel like he can really show for people who don't watch him in Romania. Obviously, we don't watch him because we don't have access.
Yeah,
This is his opportunity to kind of like sustain that form that he's been like, progressing. Even for the national team, he has been starting for the national team. But
yeah.
I'm hoping that again we're able to usher this new generation, as you mentioned. But overall, I think just this game is poised for fireworks. This game is poised for absolute carnage, pandemonium. I already know Twitter is going to be absolutely fun that day, but
Yeah.
I think just for us, I just need to ask score predictions. First for Lesotho versus Bafana, and then moving on to Nigeria. For Lesotho, first and foremost, what's your score prediction?
I think a young 2-0 victory, clean 2-0 victory there.
Okay.
I don't know who's I'm guessing Lal Foster's probably gonna start, and I think he might get himself on the score sheet in that game.
Yeah.
For you, Lesotho game score prediction.
I was thinking more 3-0. I
Three.
think we have enough. I think we have enough. We have enough to just kind of blow them, just to kind of say we don't need to play ineligible players to beat you.
Yeah.
Y'all can cry all you want. We'll
They say
beat
they don't
you.
want
Same.
Mukwena playing there, or else they're gonna lodge that complaint. They're gonna send it straight to FIFA.
It's fine. I think again we're in a good point where we're just like we have the depth, we have the squad depth, we have the quality. So I'm not even tripping. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think for that game 3-0. For the Joburg Classical, what are you telling me? What are you telling me?
I'm looking at a sneaky 1-0, bro. I feel like we can shut out Nigeria. I feel like we can give them like proper run for their money using our defense. And yeah, I feel like a 1-0 result after a KG match. I don't know about you.
I'm gonna go 2-1.
Yeah,
I think, as I said, it's gonna be a cagey game. It's gonna be tactical. We're gonna feel each other out, but
yeah,
at the end, I do feel like we have enough. We
yeah.
genuinely do have enough to get the better of them at home. I don't see us getting any other result other than a victory and booking our seats for America in a year's
Oh yeah.
time.
And
But yeah.
just last before we leave, I want to hear your
Hmm.
preferred 11 right now from the squad. Your preferred 11.
Obviously, Uronza has
Yeah.
to has to be has to be there in goal. I would say obviously Aubrey Mudiba, starting with Ngezana and Umbogazi as our centre back pairing. At right back,
Ish.
this is
It's a tough
because
one.
I
It's a
would,
tough one. You have Moby
you
there.
know,
You have Mdunyelo there. Yeah, I think Kavini.
it's I'd say that's probably the most compromised out of the positions right now. But
Yeah.
I think for now, I would probably. You said who are the options as of right now? Because
Zuko
obviously, I
Mdunyelo of
without
Sundowns, Sydney Moby of Siwelele, and I think we also have Samgelo Kavini, who plays in Norway for Molde.
I think Daniela as of right now
Yeah,
probably will get the match. I think again in terms of experience as well, being like the understudy. If I were to say that,
yeah.
that probably makes sense for me at this point in time. So, but
I
yeah, that's our back line. I think in midfield, obviously, I think Mbata will probably get the notch.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, obviously Debza, if all else is going according to plan.
I don't think you play in the Lesotho game, but the Nigeria game definitely you'll be there.
Okay. So okay, fine. Um, and I think this might be a bit of a crazy one, but I think play starting Mbule, just kind of like that
Bule.
again. I don't know. Maybe this is just me kind of doing a bit of fantasy booking, maybe, but I think
Yeah,
Mbule in that heart of attack, kind of
yeah.
just like stringing things along. I hope, and obviously our attack, Lyle Foster, but Evidence Mochopa though. I don't. Has he? He wasn't called
He
up, was he?
wasn't called
I
up. He
don't think
wasn't
so.
called up,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Um, because he's actually been doing really well for Bafana, but I'd say fine. I'd say Lyle Foster starts as our number 9. Relem Fukeng and um, I was gonna say Oswin Apollos, but I mean, unfortunately, Oswald position is occupied by Urele, if I'm not mistaken, at
Yeah,
the current moment in time, right?
yeah.
So, hmm, I don't know. Obviously, me being a biased Chiefs fan, I would say Ushabalala, but I know that's just me kind of like talking
Yeah.
out of my bum. If I'm being honest, I don't know.
Honestly,
But
I feel like Billy has a
yeah,
shot. Why not?
I think he's the hot commodity right now. He's the one on form. He's the one just kind of rip roaring and ready to go.
Yeah,
So I think I'll give him the notch, just like in the sense of full like form on form alone. I'd
yeah.
say probably Usbili really. How about you? Just kind of quick run through.
I think goalkeeper, Sipoche. Nah, I'm kidding. Ronwen Williams. Ah, Ronwen, please, man. Please, man. I know
Hmm.
you always show out in the big games. Please, bro. Please, bro. We need you. Ronwen Williams, GK, left back, Aubrey Mudiba, center back pairing, Mbogazi, Ngezana. At right back, Zuko Mdunyelwa. CDM, I think Obas will play. I feel like Batuzi Obas will play. I feel like Batuzi Obas will
Okay,
play.
okay.
In the
In
eight,
the in the in the
in the
okay.
six,
No,
I
go
feel
ahead, go ahead,
like
yeah. Okay.
the Lesotho game, Obas, the Nigeria game, Mukwena in the six. In
Okay.
the eight, ish, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because there's also Luke Leroux. I haven't seen much of him ever since he left Stellenbosch
Me
to go to
neither.
Portsmouth. And
Yeah.
I don't think Bruce will be willing to risk it. So I think you'd rather go with a double pivot, double six for this one. Mbata, Obas, and Mukwena. In the
Yeah.
10, hey, bro, I feel like Mfukeng in the 10, bro. Now Zwane missing, Mfukeng in the 10.
Mm, yeah.
King
Okay. I
in the
think, and he
10.
has played 10 for Pirates like this
Yeah,
season, and he's looked pretty like exciting. Yeah, yeah, too.
yeah. Mfukeng in the 10. Austin Apollos, arguably our most informed attacker for the
Almost
past few
informed. Yeah.
few
Mm,
after AFCON, he's been our most informed forward. Play him in his preferred position. He's been cooking there. He's been
yeah.
scoring goals there. Play him in the left wing. Svilivili on the right. And yeah, spearhead Lyle Foster. That would be my team right now.
Solid teams too, though. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
think more or less we're a bit similar in terms of just like our personnel, but again, even just the few differences, that just shows you the squad depth that we currently have.
yeah,
And a credit to Hugo Broos and his technical team for just kind of like, collecting a great group of a balanced group of players
yeah,
in terms of options and just in terms of different dynamics. But it's all on them now.
yeah,
We've said all that we need to say. The time for talk is over. Now it's time to put your money where your mouth is. All of this work has been leading up to this moment, and all we can just say is, go get them, boys.
ish,
We're trusting you. We're giving you everything. All of our support, all of the love. But yeah, we hopefully when we're doing our review, we will be, together with smiles on our faces, just
yeah.
saying that the boys did it. The boys did it. So,
Bafana
but yeah,
kaofela, Bafana kaofela,
other
ish.
than that, thank you very much. But nah, I think that was just our thoughts on a very big week for South African football and for Bafana Bafana. Please let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think we are going to do it? Do you think we're going to be able to get the job done? We really appreciate it. Keep on communicating and interacting. But yeah, for myself, Mo, and VJ at No Foul Plays at A. Stay tuned in.
Danko.